And that's it. I'll be back with the late news at 10. Now, though, on BBC One. Time for the news where you are. Bye for now.
Good evening. The widow of a police officer killed in Glasgow is calling for Harper's Law to be introduced in Scotland. The bill, which looks set to become law in England and Wales soon, would introduce mandatory life sentences for those who kill on-duty emergency workers while committing a crime. Sarah Toom reports.
It's almost 30 years since PC Lewis Fulton died after being stabbed while responding to a call in Glasgow's Gorbals. His widow, Christine Fulton, has received an MBE for her work supporting bereaved families of police officers.
This plaque was made when the charity was first formed.
Now she's teaming up with Lissy Harper, the widow of PC Andrew Harper, who was killed responding to a burglary in Berkshire in 2019, to bring Harper's Law to Scotland. Due to come into force within weeks in England and Wales, it will mean mandatory life sentences for anyone convicted of killing an emergency worker whilst committing a crime.
It's 27 years since my husband died, and for 27 years I've been saying that we have to give them more support through the courts. They have to give out sentences that mark the seriousness of the crime. So now that Harper's Law is going through in England and Wales, it's time for Scotland to step up to the plate.
The Scottish Police Federation says such a law could deter criminals and save lives.
If legislation was able to come forward and the barriers such as ECHR could be overcome, then of course it's something we would welcome. The taking of a police officer's life is one of the most serious crimes that I think any society can deal with. And if that doesn't merit some kind of mandatory sentence, then I don't know what does.
A Scottish Government spokesperson said, in Scotland, a life sentence is mandatory for murder and is available to the court as a sentencing option for anyone convicted of culpable homicide. It is for the independent court to sentence in individual cases, and the court will take into account the fact a victim is an emergency worker when sentencing. As the bill awaits royal assent down south, here the conversation may have only just begun.
First Minister, all politicians in Scotland, this is now our time to step up and give the emergency service workers in Scotland the protection and the respect that they deserve.
Sarah Toom, reporting Scotland.
P&O Ferry says it has resumed a full service between Cairnryan and Larne. The company revealed the return to normal sailings in a tweet to customers. Sailings were disrupted for several weeks after it sacked 800 workers across Britain. Unions are still warning of attempts to blockade Cairnryan and persuade customers to boycott the company. A man and a woman have been charged in connection with attempted murder after a suspected gas leak at a property near Falkirk. Police were called to the scene in King Street, Stenhousemuir, yesterday afternoon. 2 people were taken to Forth Valley Royal Hospital for treatment. Detectives are searching for a missing man from Invergordon. Sean Banner hasn't been seen since the early hours of Saturday, when he was spotted at the town's railway station. The 34-year-old's described as 5 feet 7 inches in height, with short brown hair and of slim build. Police want anyone who might be able to trace him to get in touch. A driver has been clocked by police going almost 150 miles an hour on a road in Ayrshire. Officers say they stopped the vehicle, which had been travelling at 148 miles per hour on the A78 yesterday. A 36-year-old man has been reported to the Procurator Fiscal. MSPs are being asked to strengthen freedom of information powers north of the border. The Campaign for Freedom of Information in Scotland has published a draft bill with 21 proposed amendments. It's 20 years today since the original bill was passed into law in Scotland. Football now, and Celtic restore their 6-point lead over Rangers at the top of the Scottish Premiership. They beat Ross County 2-0 in Dingwall. Elsewhere, Dundee United lost 3-2 at home to Hearts. And now the weather with Judith, and another cracking day, Judith.
It certainly was here in Glasgow, but there was a bit of cloud that got quite stubborn across northern parts of the country. Thank you very much, Suzanne. Indeed, west was best in the sunshine stakes today, and there was some real warmth from that sun as well. Now let's take a look at the pressure chart. We still have this unusual setup with high pressure to the north of us. It's going to pull southwards during the course of the week, becoming centred slap bang over Scotland, meaning the outlook for the week ahead is very dry and indeed very settled as well, but it will turn cooler as that high brings in a cooler air mass. As far as this evening and tonight's concerned, it's dry with clear spells for many, although we'll see more in the way of cloud with some mist in that cloud across northern parts and some eastern areas as well. Could be cold enough for a wee touch of frost in some sheltered spots, but generally lows of 5 or 6 Celsius. A dry start to tomorrow, some lovely sunshine for many. Any cloud we'll see first thing should lift as we head through the course of the day. Lighter winds tomorrow, and it will feel cooler as well. Highs of around about 13, 14 Celsius, but lower across more northern parts of the country. A very similar setup on Tuesday. A chilly start, any cloud thinning and lifting with a lot of dry weather and some sunshine as well. That's your forecast.
Thanks, Judith. And that's all for now. We're back with the late bulletin after the 10 o'clock news. I hope you can join us for that. Until then, enjoy your Sunday evening.